So recently I have filed for a divorce from my husband and things have been going pretty badly for me. I don't even know where to begin, but I guess I'll just come out and say it. I'm a couple of days away from my due date and I'm heavily pregnant at the moment, and I just recently found out that my husband has been cheating on me for the past 3 months. I didn't go snooping and I didn't have any suspicions of this happening. I was just sitting and reading one day about 3 weeks ago, and my husband came and sat beside me, and that's when the whole story came out. He was crying while he narrated it to me, but I had no sympathy for him. I was just in shock and I couldn't even believe it because we have been together for the past 7 years. We've been married for 4 years now. And that's how all of this ends, with him cheating on me with a coworker while I'm pregnant with his baby. The reasons that he provided were even more ridiculous. He said that I was always very hormonal and irritable, which is why he spoke to his friend at work about all of this. And she gave him a lot of sympathy. They started talking and texting more and more, and he started growing distant from me. He started developing feelings for her, and that's how they ended up having an affair. But before he told me, he had realized that he was doing something really horrible to me, and that's why he had broken it off with her. He had even applied at a different company and resigned from his current workplace so he wouldn't have to see her. And he was ready to give this marriage a second chance because he really wanted to give this baby a good life. And he was hoping that I could bring myself to forgive him after hearing all of this. He said he knew that telling me the truth would be a very difficult process, but he had gotten through it, and now the ball was in my court, whether I wanted to forgive him or not. After listening to this whole thing, I didn't even say anything because I didn't have the energy to fight with him. I just got up, I went to the bedroom, and I started packing my things, and that's all that I remember. I do think that he probably tried to stop me. I remember there was a lot of begging and crying on his part, but I did not let that deter me. In my head, I had already decided I was not going to stay with this man anymore, that I hardly even knew him anymore, and once I was done packing, I got a cab and I came straight to my parents' place. And that's where I've been staying ever since. Of course, after I told my parents, they were very upset with him. They told me that I had done the right thing by choosing to come to them, and that they were going to make sure to help me and support me in whatever decision I made. They were very angry, but it was very nice of them not to try and influence my decision, and they let me do my own thinking. At first, I was pretty sure that I was just going to file for a divorce, but then I started considering staying and making it work just for the sake of the baby. But then I guess good sense prevailed, and I decided to leave anyway, because if I was just going to stay for the sake of the baby, I'm pretty sure that I would end up ruining my own life, the baby's life, and his. And that was just not worth it. So with the help of my parents, we spoke to a lawyer, and recently we filed for a divorce. 2 days ago, he was served, and since then, him and his family have become even more aggressive in their attempts to try and get me back. After I left, he had been trying to text me and email me, but I was not replying to anything. He was just apologizing, telling me that he was really sorry and that he really wanted a second chance. He said he knew that we could make it work because we loved each other, and that's what really mattered at the end of the day. Besides, with the baby on the way, we needed to make it work for the baby's sake, if not ours. He was doing everything in his power to try and make me come back to him. But I decided against it, and after he was served with the divorce papers, his parents also joined him, and they have been telling me that I'm making the wrong decision and that I'm going to regret this, that this is a huge mistake and everything. They've been telling me that if I was a good wife and a good mom, I would just make it work, and right now I'm being quite selfish and only thinking about myself and what I want. They have even gone to the extent of saying that I'm leaving just because I plan on using the baby against my husband in order to get child support out of him. I mean, I don't even know why they would come up with something so disgusting. But I was pretty upset with that. And to be honest, right now, I'm thinking maybe I'm making a mistake because I have heard of couples making it work even after their partner has cheated. The only person that I'm actually genuinely worried about is the baby because I don't want to have my baby grow up in a broken home. But right now, I don't seem to have any other choice. I just don't know what to do anymore. I feel very confused and lost. My parents and friends believe that leaving is the right thing to do, but right now, I have no idea if it really is or not. AITA for wanting to leave my husband after he cheated, even though I'm pregnant with his baby. Update 1. Okay, thank you so much to everybody who commented on my post, because it really helped me make sense of a lot of things. First things first, I have decided to stick to my decision of leaving because I don't think that there is any way on this planet that I will be able to make it work with him, that I'll be able to look at him the same way and feel the same way I used to about him, especially after everything that he's told me. In my head, I try to think about it, about this alternative possibility. I just felt disgusted with myself. I don't think that I would ever be able to forgive myself if I ended up going back. So that's why I've chosen, and I have chosen, to live my life in a dignified manner, even if it's on my own, even if it's as a single mother. I'm a lot closer to my due date, and this is all coming out at the very worst time. But I really can't do anything about it, so I just have to suck it up and deal with it. I've blocked my in-laws so they won't be able to get in touch with me anymore, but of course I can't exactly block my husband because I still have to let him know when I go into labor. That is something that I'm not going to compromise on because regardless of everything that's happened, this is still his baby and he has the right to be there. That being said, though, I want shared custody and I definitely want child support because ever since I got pregnant, I've had to pass up on a lot of new projects that I could have done because of the pregnancy. So I think it's fair for me to ask for child support, at least until I'm able to get back on equal footing with him financially. And if his parents don't like that, if his parents think that I'm using him for the money, then they are more than welcome to believe whatever they want to, because to be very honest, I don't care what they think anymore. In the last couple of messages that they had sent me, they were totally horrible to me. They insinuated really mean things, and it was surprising because I thought that we got along well. Also, they totally overlooked the fact that it was their son who had cheated on me and not the other way around. So if anything, they should be blaming him for us breaking up, not me. But whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. I've blocked them and that's it. Update 2. Hey everyone, so it's been 3 weeks since my last update, and a week and a half ago I finally had my son. He's beautiful, and I think he makes up for almost everything that has happened in the past couple of weeks in my life. Yes, granted, everything was turned upside down by my husband's confession of his affair. But I think having my son, knowing that this little baby is counting on me to make everything right for him, has given me a lot of strength. Like I had promised when I went into labor, I did call him. I told him about it, but I was also very particular about not wanting his parents here. I told him that they had been horrible to me and I did not need them around at this point in time because they were only going to add to the stress. They were definitely going to miss the birth of their grandchild, but all they had to blame for that was themselves. I guess my husband felt guilty and sorry about everything, so he did not argue with me and he just showed up by himself. While I was going through all of it, he was nice enough to bring up the divorce and he was nice enough not to try and get back with me. He was just there as a source of support. And for a while, I thought that maybe I would be able to make it work with him after all, but then I remembered that I had promised myself that I was not going to entertain these thoughts anymore. So that was the end of it, and my parents were not exactly happy to see him there. But they were at least civil. I think the most important thing for everyone present there was that I should be safe and healthy, and that the baby should be brought into the world into a nice, calm environment. So there were no fights or anything. There was no passive-aggressive behavior that I had almost expected. Everything was just peaceful, and I guess I couldn't have asked for a better situation given the circumstances. After my baby was born, my husband decided to stay the night with me, and my parents went home to prepare for the baby coming home with me. Once we were on our own and the baby went to sleep, he decided to finally bring up the topic of the divorce and everything. I didn't really want to talk about it, but I decided to get it out of the way because I think at some point in time we were going to have to discuss it. And better than later, when I would be even busier with the baby and everything. So we got talking. He told me that he could totally understand why I wanted to file for a divorce, and why I had not responded to any of his messages or emails, but even then, he wanted to take the chance and talk to me one last time. He wanted to try and convince me to give him one last chance. And this was basically his last-ditch effort at making our marriage work, because he really loved me, and that the affair had actually made him realize how much he loved me and how much he wanted to be with me. Every time he spoke about it, it just was more painful for me. But I let him get it all out of his system, and once he was done talking, I told him my side of things. I told him no matter how much I tried to, I would never be able to forget the fact that he cheated on me. And I would never be able to move on from that. Besides, if I decided to stay with him, I don't think I would ever be truly happy. And I didn't want to do that to myself. I owe that to myself and my baby to try and make the most of my life. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I decided to settle for somebody who had had an affair while I was pregnant, because whether he loved me or not was secondary. But his actions spoke differently, and I was never going to be able to put that out of my head. So I told him that getting back with him or trying counseling or whatever he wanted was just out of the question. And if he really loves me, then he should try and not make things harder for me than they already are. He should agree to the terms of the divorce and the child custody arrangement, because I think right now that's the only thing I'm worried about. Of course, I do have my lawyer at hand in case there are things that we have to sort out, but other than that, I think I've been very fair and would really want him to consider agreeing to all of it at the earliest so that we can finalize it all. He was very upset about it, but he didn't say anything, and he just said that he would definitely consider it. But he was very careful not to make any promises, so I guess that was everything I needed to know. Anyway, that was what happened at the hospital, and then a couple of days later he had agreed to the divorce petition and had chosen not to contest anything. But he did bring up issues for the child support and custody arrangement. So now we're just trying to smooth it all out, and because I'm not okay with going out every other day meeting him in person, we are trying to do it all virtually with our lawyers and a mediator. It's going to be difficult because he's not ready to pay that kind of child support that I'm demanding, even though I think it's nominal, and somehow I have to bring him on the same page as me, so I don't know how I'm going to go about it. It's already pretty exhausting and mentally draining, but I have to get through it for my child. Update 3. So a couple of weeks have passed since my last update. I've been quite busy with everything that's been going on in my life, so naturally I haven't had time to update you guys, but here's the lowdown of what's been going on. Basically, things with my husband are still a bit iffy, so we are going to sort things out and finalize the terms of everything. And yes, you guys were asking me if I was still living with my parents and if he had been coming over to see our baby regularly or not. So it's a yes to both of those, and it's definitely quite awkward to have him over while we're still trying to sort out the legal details. But I can't deal with it, so even though we are uncomfortable, there's nothing to be done, so we just put up with it. Occasionally he takes our son with him for a day or two, so he can spend time with his son and bond. And so his parents can also meet their grandchild, obviously. They were quite upset that they had not been called when the baby was born. They were mad at me, and they let me know as well. They sent me an email later on telling me that they were quite upset with me, that they were very disappointed in my behavior, and that they had never expected me to do something like this. Well, I can say the same for them as well. I had also never expected them to behave like this with me, but here we both were, so I think they just have to suck it up and deal with it for the sake of the baby. And anyway, like I said, their opinion doesn't really make a difference to me anymore because I think I have had enough of this nonsense. I don't understand why they felt the need to make a new email account only to let me know their feelings on the matter. As if that would make a difference to me. It is this self-importance and entitlement that really rubs me the wrong way, because it was the same way with their son as well. In case you guys have forgotten, he was the one who had told me about his affair and everything, and then he had said that he wanted to give our marriage a second chance, as if he was in any position to be doing that. But anyway, this is what's been going on, and I guess my husband knows for a fact that decision of holding out on custody and child support is kind of inconvenient for me. But I don't think he cares, because if he did, he would have thought about what I had told him at the hospital and tried to make it easier for me. He hasn't done that though, so I guess I was right. He doesn't really love me as much as he thought he does, but I guess that had already been proven when he decided to cheat on me while I was pregnant with his child. And I know that I will never be able to forgive him for that, so thank God I chose not to get back with him. But I'm actively working and trying not to be resentful with him, because I know that for the next 18 years I'm going to have to make sure that I am in good terms with this man, because even though my child is going to grow up with divorced parents, I don't want him to grow up with parents who hate each other and constantly badmouth each other. So I'm trying to keep it peaceful, I'm trying to keep it polite and civil, and I hope he extends the same courtesy to me as our son grows up. Even if he doesn't, I think I will be civil enough for the both of us, so it's not going to make a difference. But yes, at the end of the day, I have to say that things have been difficult, and the situation that I am in is not exactly ideal. I wish things would have been different. I wish my husband never would have cheated, and sometimes I even find myself wishing that even if he had cheated, he shouldn't have told me. I know it's unreasonable, but I can't help it. And I am seriously considering getting therapy, because I think that might be able to help me with coming to terms with all of this and accepting it and healing. I've spoken about it with my parents as well, and they had told me that they would definitely encourage me to try it out, because they have spoken to other people, and even though therapy hasn't exactly been like a big thing in our family or even in my friend circle, I think it wouldn't hurt to give it a try. I guess I would just like to say that I'm really lucky that even in the face of such circumstances, I have the constant and unwavering support of my friends and family. And I think that's what's kept me going and what's keeping me sane. And I'm really grateful for it. For now, I just wish that everything with my husband gets sorted out at the earliest so that we can all collectively move on from this whole thing. I know that as long as we're going to have to co-parent our son, I'm not going to be able to truly move on. But at least I can try. Update 4. Hi everybody, so it's been a couple of months since my last update, and I had decided to start therapy back then, which I did. It's been going well. I feel much better now. I feel stronger about myself, and best of all, I think I have more mental energy and strength to deal with motherhood. So I would definitely say that it was a good choice. As for the whole legal thing with my husband, it's all been sorted out now. The divorce has come through. It was finalized a few weeks back, and we were also able to come to an agreement about the child support amount about a month ago. So that has all been sorted out now, and now we have been able to figure out a co-parenting arrangement that works for both of us. I have my son from Monday through Thursday, and for the weekend my husband takes over. Sorry, I mean my ex-husband. It feels weird to say that now, because when I started dating him, I honestly thought that I was going to spend the rest of my life with him. But now, that's not happening. I guess I'm just going to have to make the most of this situation that I'm in. I am trying to do that. I've been working hard. I've been saving up money, and I guess I'm going to make the leap and start my own business in a few months. I had been thinking about it for years, but I had been waiting for the right time to do it. And then I got pregnant, so that was put on hold, but now I think I might as well go ahead and do it. What's the worst that can happen? Whatever it is, I know that I'll be able to deal with it. And I know that I'll be able to get through whatever happens. So I have started working on a business model, and in a few months, once I think I have saved up enough, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to start my own business. I've spoken about it with my parents and my friends, and they think it's a great idea. Besides, I'm still living with my parents, so I think they will be a great help as well. I had considered moving out because I do not want to be a burden on them, but they convinced me not to do it, so I'm still here with them, and I'm really happy that they are so supportive of me. Like I had said at the end of my last post, I really got lucky, and I won't say I'm very happy about how things have turned out because it could have been better for sure. I would definitely say that I am content with what I'm doing with my life, and I'm hoping for a better future. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Update 5. Hi everyone. So it's been 6 months since my last update, and my ex-husband came over about 2 hours ago to pick up our son for the weekend. And he told me that he was dating somebody else now. He was quite awkward and uncomfortable about the whole thing, but he said that he thought that I had the right to know because apparently this was the same woman he had had the affair with. He told me that after I filed for divorce, his company decided to offer him a promotion just to retain him, and he decided to take it because he figured that if our marriage was ending, he might as well take the promotion and continue working for the same company. But he promised me that while he was there was nothing going on between him and his co-worker, and they were not even on speaking terms. However, she reached out to him a couple of weeks after his divorce came through, since she had heard about it from a couple of other people, and she just wanted to check up on him. Once again, they got to talking, and this time they decided to get together properly and publicly because they really love each other, and he had been trying to get back with me because he knew that was the proper thing to do, but in reality, he had already caught feelings for her, and he wanted to make it work with her. They had been dating for just a few weeks, but she had already decided to move in with him. And since she would be at home with him and our baby, he thought that I had the right to know. Honestly, I thought that this was going to make me feel bad, but I was just concerned whether she was the right person to have around a baby or not. I did not feel even a little sorry for myself or upset about whatever he had told me. I didn't even care about any of it. I just told him that I would like to meet her once, just to feel safer and more confident in my choice of letting him take the baby with himself while she was going to be around. I didn't want to say that she would be actively malicious or anything, but some people can be incompetent around babies, and I didn't want that. So he arranged that at that moment itself, since she happened to be in the car, and even though it was quite strange meeting the woman who had wrecked my home, I managed to keep my cool and was quite civil with her. She was the same way, even though it was a bit awkward once I was sure that I felt all right about sending our son home with him while she was around. I wished them luck and I said goodbye, and that was that. I didn't feel anything afterwards. I actually even forgot about it, but now I've just been thinking about how weird that was. Anyway, it's a good thing he's happy, and it's an even better thing that I didn't get back with him. Now, we're not husband and wife. We're not friends. We are merely parents, and that's it. That's all our relationship will ever be, and I'm fine with that. Update 6. So hey guys, it's been almost 3 years since my last update, and I can't even believe that I'm making this post, but I'm getting married. I just thought about the fact that I used to post here randomly, and I decided to post about it today as well. In 2 weeks from now, I will be married, and I really can't wait. My son is a little older now, so he will be the ring bearer. He's already pretty excited for it. My business is flourishing, and it's actually the way I met my current partner. I have business dealings with his company, so he's an associate. And one day, about 1.5 years ago, he asked me out, and I said yes, and that was that. I moved in with him 3 months back, and then he popped the question, and I said yes. Some people were a bit concerned that I was moving too fast, but honestly, in my last relationship, I had taken my own sweet time, and it still didn't work out. So I think this time I'll just do what my gut says. I'm happy with my fiance, and I mean genuinely happy. He's sweet and charming and funny and really kind, and I truly love him. And the best part is that even my son seems to like him a lot. My parents are also very happy with him, and so are my friends, and the only person who seems to have a problem with him and is a bit cold towards him is my ex-husband, but I just think that's because he's bitter that his own relationship didn't work out. Yeah, he and that coworker of his ended up breaking up last year, and since then, he's been single. From what I hear, he's on a bunch of dating apps, but he's only interested in hookups and nothing more. Of course, we have kept in touch since we have stuck to that custody arrangement that we came up with. And I have told him that I don't want any of his hookups around my son. And I've even instructed my son to tell me if anything happens at his dad's place or if he meets anyone new. So things have been a bit iffy between the two of us, but I don't care about that. I'm happy with my life, and that's all that matters to me now. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.